Okay, hey, it's Father Francis, the Faith Guy, and we have in our little studio this afternoon a special guest. This is my very first interview that I'm doing, and I'm going to be interviewing this afternoon a young man who goes to our church here at Good Shepherd, and his name is Cameron Tapella. Cameron, I'd just like you to take a few minutes here and just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got inspired to want to be a homeless person.
So, hi guys, I'm Cameron Tapella. I am almost 17 years old. My birthday's this Friday.
Hey, happy birthday. You're going to be, what, 18?
17.
17. He looks like he's going to be 21, but we'll go.
And I go to Jesuit high school up in Carmichael, and decided to be a homeless person through much thought. It wasn't an easy decision, but I had a great time doing it, and you learn so much about people when you live as someone who doesn't have anything for 6 days. So.
And now, Cameron, who sponsors this program? I mean, obviously you didn't make this up on your own. I mean,
No.
You've had some sponsorship, and there's some, you told me earlier there was an immersion class that you go through. Can you tell us a little bit about how that process works?
Sort of.
And I think you were going to go to West Virginia, and
Yes.
that didn't work out. Tell me that story.
Yeah. So we have basically at Jesuit, for the past couple years, they've had what's called an immersion program. And the immersion program is a program that allows rising seniors to immerse themselves with a group of people or into an environment that they normally aren't used to. So for me, mine was being homeless, something that I haven't been used to because I do go to Jesuit high school. And we are given at the beginning of the year a introductory course about immersions, and there are a couple different kinds. There is an immersion trip to New Orleans, West Virginia, South Dakota, Los Angeles, Sacramento, and San Francisco. And there might be one other that I can't think of right off the top of my head. And they all have a certain group that they're working with. So Los Angeles is working with gangs. New Orleans is working with people who have had their lives devastated by Hurricane Katrina. South Dakota is working on an Indian reservation. And West Virginia is working on a farm in one of the poorest states in the country. So that was the original one that I was going to apply for, was West Virginia. It appealed to me because it was in the environment, and I love the environment. And there was going to be other schools going there too to work, and it just appealed to me. But there were others that appealed to me, but because of what I was doing at the time, I wasn't able to fill out the application because it was an application process. I wasn't able to fill out the application for the other immersions because of a play that I was doing. The dress rehearsals were all in the same week that those were due, and so I didn't have.
I was going to say Cameron is a thespian, if you haven't guessed by now.
And so I filled out this application and was like, okay, this is the one I'd like to do. And there was an application process, an interview process, and about a month later I found out that I was rejected from the immersion. And I was disappointed, but not so much as other people were. One of my best friends who applied for it was just devastated. And so I was trying to figure out, what was I going to do for the senior service. And because the immersions and the camps are for senior year Christian service. And so I was trying to figure out what camp I was going to do, but then I heard that this immersion, the urban immersion, was still being offered because they have to accept their people later than the other immersions. And so I was very intrigued that, this was one that I had heard about, but didn't think that I was able to fill out the application because I thought it was due the same time before. And so I saw this and was like, wow, this is one that I really want to do, because I had just gone through a social justice class at school which talked about homelessness and how you can't judge people, and I was very inclined to go to this one. I was compelled that this was one that I really needed to do. And so I then found from talking to people who had been on it that it was one that I was very interested in.
Now, did you go with a group of people, or just
Yes.
on yourself being sponsored?
Now, this was a group of people. There were
How many?
7 of us and 2 teachers. One of the 7, though, was an alumni who went on it the year before. And so there were 6 rising seniors, and we all got together and went through months of preparation to get us ready for it. And it was about reading about the homeless in tent city and injustices that they have all faced. And so we were then given the chance now to right many of these injustices, while at the same time not just going in and doing service. It was about finding out what the problem is. So that's what makes it an immersion rather than a service project.
Okay. Now tell me, Cameron, what is it like? What was your experience, let's say just on a day-to-day experience of living as a homeless person? What were some of those challenges that maybe you kind of felt you were going to experience, and then some challenges that surprised you? Like, I think most of us would assume, well, I'm not going to have access to the amenities for hygiene. I'm not going to be able to take a bath or a shower every day. But tell us a little bit about the process of how it's like to actually live as a homeless person on a day-to-day basis, like your meals, your hygiene, your sleeping arrangements, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So our immersion first off was from a Sunday to a Friday. We got there about Sunday at about 6 o'clock, and we were told not to eat because we would be getting dinner. And we were then just kind of introduced to the grounds and the area surrounding. And
this is in downtown Sacramento?
Downtown Sacramento, yes, on I believe 16th and North C Street.
Okay.
So, we were then given we were given $12 to get dinner for 10 people, because with us there was the co-director of Loaves and Fishes named Garen Bratcher, who is a phenomenal human being who has been at Loaves and Fishes for I believe 10 years, and 8 of those years has been working with high school students and volunteers, learning about the homelessness. With this $12, we had there were 2 kids who went in with our student leader, and we got top ramen, bunch of packets of top ramen, mayonnaise, and 3 bags of chips for $12. So we were kind of shocked at how much we got from that, but we were shocked more about why we had mayonnaise.
Why the mayonnaise?
So
was that a dip for the chips?
no, this is what